Hello everybody. Our next project is to get 12 textures. You got a handout with 30 of them. You can choose any you like. So I already labeled my boxes. My first box is lifting paint with a tissue. Okay, so I'm gonna cover my project and I'm gonna start mixing my paint. Remember, you mixing in a box, but you using your tray. Okay, mixing really well. Make sure it's like sweet cream, not too wet. So now I have my color. I chose purple, and then I'm gonna paint my box. Just go once, okay, guys. This is not tempera or acrylic. We're gonna try to use different paints, but for now using watercolor. Okay, so I'm gonna try to lift some of the color with paper towel. Okay, so like this, and then if you needed this kind of texture for something, you will know how you did it. Okay, now next is contrasting color on a wet surface. So I have my clean water in here, and then I'm gonna paint this box with water first, and it says contrasting colors. So if you look at the color wheel, contrasting colors would be red and green, blue and orange, and yellow and purple. Okay, let's say I'm gonna use yellow and purple. Okay, I'm gonna cover my project. I'm gonna mix yellow really well. It shouldn't be too watery. Okay, so I'm gonna have a few drops of yellow. And then next I'm gonna mix purple. 1, 2. Okay, so I'm gonna go again because it got dry. Okay, I'm gonna color this. It should be really clean. Water should be really clean. Okay, so I'm gonna add yellow. I'm gonna paint with yellow first. Clean my brush, and the other side I'm gonna color with purple. So as you can see, it's kind of bleeding into each other if it's on wet, painted on wet. Okay, next, clear water on wet wash. Okay, so I'm gonna use, let's say I'm gonna use purple right here, and then I'm gonna add some clear water. It's kind of like the same thing. It's just a little bit more wet, more wet. Okay, so this is just a test, but when you start your project, try to be really careful. Okay, next, salt on wet surface. Let's say I'm gonna mix, like, I'm gonna use green color right here. Okay, so I'm gonna add a few drops of green, and then I'm gonna paint this box in green, and I'm gonna add salt. If you wanna paint like stars or snow, it could be really good technique to use. You will have to clean this when it dries. Okay, so next, spray surface from a spray bottle. Okay, so I'm gonna paint my box with purple. Okay, like I didn't clean the brush well, so I got mixed color, but that's okay because this is just a test. Okay, now I'm gonna spray with from the bottle. Let it dry and see what kind of texture we're gonna get. Okay, lift color with a sponge. Okay, so I'm gonna mix the color right here. I'm gonna make some color in my tray. Okay, so I'm gonna paint my next box with this orange color, and lift color with a sponge. So I have this really nice sponge. Let's see. See, lifting the color. You can try that too. Okay, splattered color with a toothbrush. So I have toothbrush, and I'm gonna use again orange color, and then I'm gonna splatter a little bit. So here it is splattered with a toothbrush. Okay, scrub wet area with a cotton swab. Okay, so you can do that. I lost my cotton swab, but let me get it. Okay, so scrub wet area. Okay, so I'm gonna use purple again, and then you already done this. Many of you did this. Okay, so you can scrub it and get the textures you want. You can go more than once. Okay, next, use oil pastel before painting. Let's say you wanna paint stars and night sky. You paint those before you start using watercolors. Let's say this is the moon. Okay, I'm gonna use dark blue. I'm gonna just mix right here, dark blue, and I'm gonna add a few drops in my tray. Okay, you always use this tray for painting, don't paint from the box. So okay, so when you paint on top of oil pastel, you're gonna get a surface. You painted, the surface will be masked. I didn't get much that time, but you will. Mask areas with tape. So I have this tape right here, and then I'm gonna just make some shapes. Let's say you want to mask something. You want to keep these areas without the paint. Okay, so I'm gonna paint this. Let's say I'm gonna paint this with red. Okay, I'm gonna mix in here. Okay, so I'm gonna mask this. When it dries, then I'm gonna lift these masking tapes. Okay, so I'm drop alcohol drops on wet surface. Let's say I'm gonna paint this with red, and then I have this alcohol, rubbing alcohol. Oh, I already dropped some, but you can use this dropper, and when it dries, it creates textures. You might use these textures for something. And then the last one, I made it scratch lines with a toothpick. Okay, let's say I'm gonna paint this in blue color, and then I'm gonna make some scratches. You might use this for something when you paint your project. And that's it for today. And then I can show you just the ones I did before, and these are already dry. You like the one with salt. When you clean the salt, it looks like this. Oil pastel. These were wet on wet, and then there's some method when you just painting on dry paper. Toothbrush, wet color lifted with sponge, spray bottle, 2 colors on dry, and I didn't do this time, but you might do it. And this is like scratch lines with brush handle toothpick. And then you can get some interesting colors when you painting another color on dry. Alcohol drops, fabric, I didn't do this, and wet on wet. Okay guys, good luck with this project. And next our final project, painting your paper collage. Thank you. I hope you like this project.